All right. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. We're getting things set up on Facebook right now, so give us a hot second. Appreciate you guys tuning in so early with us. Got an amazing show for you this morning here on the Influencers. Let's see. Going to give everybody an opportunity to hop on here this morning, so we'll get started here about 11:05, 11:06. We'll make sure we get everybody in the building today. Okay. Try to get us there. All right. All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Make sure if you have any questions or comments this morning as we are going along, feel free to drop them into the Facebook chat. If you would like to join us in the Zoom room, we will provide that information. It is always available on the CincinnatiHerald.com. You guys are tuned into the Influencers this morning. We got a great show set up for you. I'm super excited, super duper excited today. We'll flip these around. All right. Good morning, everyone. Appreciate you stopping by. We're getting started here in just 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Want to give everybody an opportunity to hop in here this morning. It's a cold Saturday morning. We had 2 nice warm days. We caught that rain. It got cold on us. Got cold on us. Good morning, everyone tuning in on Facebook. We're going to get started here in just 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Beauty of being on Facebook Live is we are not having to adhere to the specific times, but of course, we're always here at 11 and 6 on Saturdays. So want to give you some great content this morning. Got an amazing show set up for you. Want to make sure we get everyone in the building. All right, 11:06. Let's get started. Let's see, Sean, I think he's still on mute. So come off mute, man. Let's get this show rocking, man.
Hey, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, brother Ivory. It's good to be here, man. Good to
Good
be.
morning. Good morning. Yeah. Hey, so listen, welcome to the Influencers. I am your influencer this morning for our 11 o'clock show. My name is Jourdan Ivory of the Cincinnati Herald. Typically, you would see us on the radio and you would hear Can We Just Talk by Khalid in the background. But unfortunately, we are still remote, and it is absolutely awesome because we are allowed to do a lot of different things on air that we were not necessarily able to do in the studio. So we don't have full force commercials, which is awesome. We don't get interrupted, right? Fully by all the different things that are happening in the studio. So we're super excited to be in this digital space. And I want to say thank you to each and every one of you that have been coming to join us each and every Saturday for our 11 a.m. show and our 6 p.m. show. And so I really have been excited for today's show. As soon as we had picked dates for this month, I knew exactly who my guest had to be. And as this show is called The Influencers, we are truly powered by the Cincinnati Herald, and you can find upcoming events, awesome things that are happening in and around the city, and also current events and current happenings in the local as well as national scene with the NMPA, Black Press, Cincinnati Herald, award-winning Cincinnati Herald here in Cincinnati. And it's truly an amazing entity to have. If you do not have a subscription, I encourage you to always get one. You can also pick it up at local stores too. I saw that a couple weeks ago, Alicia Reese on the cover. You always see upstanding, amazing information in the Cincinnati Herald. They're doing great things. It's absolutely awesome to have it as a resource here in our community, and it's one of the oldest Black presses in our region. I'm Jourdan Ivory, and I'm excited to bring you today an influencer that I've known for most of my life, Sean Freeman. Sean Freeman is from the Trotwood Chamber of Commerce, and this brother has done a lot of different things over the years. Sean and Sean's parents and my parents actually went to school together way back in the day, and then also worked together later in life as they endured on their entrepreneurial journeys. And so it's awesome as the world comes full circle, and Sean and I growing up in the same spaces, being in love with the same things like high school basketball, community building, and professional development. We also had those kinds of parents that were kind of kingmakers and in politics and doing the different things to really make things shake. So as we grew into the space, they encouraged us to do phenomenal things and kind of shake the tree and create our own path. Sean has been doing phenomenal things for some time, and we were able to reconnect as he came back to Ohio. And it was awesome because we both kind of had quick fan moments like, brother, I seen you doing this. I seen you doing this. Hey, I'm connected in this. And so it was like, yo, I see you in this and we're connected here. Let's do this. And so it was an awesome reconnection and reunion as we both had went off and did amazing things. So I'm not going to run down the brother's bio any further than that right there, but I would like for him to tell you a little bit more about himself. So let me turn the mic over to my guest today, Sean Freeman of the Trotwood Chamber of Commerce. Sean, welcome to the Influencers.
Hey, thanks for having me, Jordan. And good morning, everyone. Hope you guys are having a lovely, chill Saturday here in October, late October. My name is Sean Freeman. From Trotwood, Ohio, born and raised, graduated from Alabama State University, currently pursuing my MBA at Wright State University. And I just love the community, I'm here right now, actually, in Detroit at Grand Valley State's Detroit campus, working with my mentoring organization here, turning dreams into reality. So it's a mentoring organization that I've been a part of for 7 years, since I was an undergrad at ASU. And they're really just doing some amazing things, in a lot of different spaces. We have 8 new mentees there at Alabama State that we're onboarding now. And it's a blessing to still be able to give back, in such a crucial and serious time that we're in as of right now. But thanks, man. Thanks.
No, truly, truly. And as we talked about ways that, we could engage in the space and the things that you had going, obviously we knew that we were going to be doing this month, and I'm glad that we can make it happen. Let's talk about how things have been going since you've been back. You've been doing phenomenal things everywhere, right? But coming back home, I know, was kind of a monumental space for you. And I know that you had a plan in doing so. So tell me, how's it going? Because I see you in the Trotwood Chamber of Commerce. I see you in a lot of these startup spaces. I just seen you coming out of a recent accelerator, and I saw you shouting out "What's the biz" and whatnot on the on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So tell me more about what's happening around what you've done in your re-engagement into the community.
Man, so upon coming back, man, my focus has just been um trying to bring a ship home to Trotwood, to Dayton, um, to Ohio. Really like LeBron. That's the analogy that I can think about it as. I went to Miami for my 4 years, which was Atlanta for me, and learned just how that community ran. Um, that's where I was first exposed to a Black Chamber. You know what I mean? I didn't know, first of all, I didn't know what a chamber was, so to find out, through that avenue that it was a Black one, and learning the differences was just like, wow. Coming back home, learning that you were a part of, the African American Chamber there in Cincinnati was just, that was an aha moment. That was God showing me the path. But just speaking to what I'm doing directly, I would say I joined the chamber, Trotwood Chamber, as a member last November. In this January, I became a board member, so big things to that. And we're just pushing through. We were just awarded, hopefully Maria won't be mad at me sharing this, it's great news, but we were just awarded the CARES Act from Montgomery County, so figuring out how to use those funds. And the city of Trotwood is also offering $10,000 to a local business, so all my Trotwoodians take advantage. I joined the Parks and Rec board as well. And as you were able to be a part of, we had our entrepreneur summit. Couldn't have it in person like we wanted to, but it was still a great turnout virtually, and even made a lot of connections, during that time. So looking forward to hopefully being in person safely, social distancing, if that's still needed come next March. If not, we'll be virtual, and, we'll definitely be able to get that going. And then Co-op Dayton is what you were referring to with What's the Biz. Tajal was hosting. She's a great host. She's doing a lot here for the entrepreneurial community in Dayton in general, just highlighting different entrepreneurs, man. It's amazing. It's amazing. She's really got it down packed. But she was the host for our pitch competition in conjunction with Sea Change, Right Pack Credit Union, who was our gracious sponsor of $2,000 to the Doula Collective, who ended up winning that. So shout out to those ladies that did a phenomenal job, man, and doing some important things there. There I just work. I'm a part of the team, just helping them grow, helping the teams in whichever way that they need. And we just completed that incubator. That was the first one. The Gem City Market on Salem Avenue is coming up, man. It's looking good. It's looking good, man, rolling. And our next incubator will be kicking off soon. So it's a lot going on, man. A lot of great things.
Well, definitely. And you guys, and as we talk about Trotwood, and of course, we're Cincy based with this, right? But as we talk about Trotwood, we're going to get to the reason why we're actually here with all of this too. But as we talk about Trotwood is you're talking like in a regional space. And when you talk Co-op Dayton, you're talking in a regional space, right? Trotwood and Dayton are two separate cities. And so, one's a metro of the other, right? So the thing is that we're talking like regional space. And of course, like the Cincinnati Herald is a regional space. And as we talk about the Cincinnati Herald too, even in Dayton, we're responsible for the Dayton Defender, which is distributed in Dayton, Ohio. And so, the Cincinnati Herald is in these spaces. And the amazing part about this, man, is that we are engaging as a region, collectively kind of as like niches, right? There's certain things that we come to Dayton for. There's certain things individuals come to Cincinnati for, right? Talk to me about ways, and this is something that you and I have kind of spitball back and forth in conversation at events, one-on-one. Talk to me about how we bridge this gap between Dayton and Cincinnati in terms of the collective movement of what you're trying to create. Because even what you just talked about in terms of incubators, as well as co-op markets, are something that I think Cincinnati is trying to create in a multitude of ways. And Dayton is doing it. How do we bring some of that momentum to Cincinnati? And what are some of those resources?
It's a good question. Some of those resources.
And spitball it with me.
Yeah. So look, off bat, of course, I'm thinking we can set up the virtual programming. That's what I have written down here. Virtual programming can happen. And it's already, just in the breakout rooms. Thanks again for joining our summit, and in the breakout rooms with you being able to interact with, I believe we talked to Marie, you know what I mean? And was able to talk to some of the leaders out here of the business community. And that speaks volumes, that's the start to open up their minds to see like, hey, yeah, that is Cincinnati, but, we family, you know what I'm saying? Essentially, we all in this Ohio family. So I think just being able to partner, keeping shared information, you know what I mean? So the next event that we have coming up, making sure that we let you guys know, and vice versa.
Right. And I think that's a big thing, especially in the Chamber of Commerce space, even inside of like the niche media space. As we talk about the Cincinnati Herald, we don't always turn to those things to try to find those resources. We don't always look to those kinds of spaces to find those individuals. And I think that since being in the space and actually knowing that those resources exist now, and utilizing them, I feel like I have a better customer experience on a lot of levels too. But I also feel I feel good about the spending, the time, even the tangible item that I take away from it. I think that, doing business inside of our networks, inside of that Ohio network, right, and helping others inside of those spaces, I think is what truly is propelling, what we have going in this digital space. And, I think a lot of people don't talk about the digital product. And as we talk about virtual programming, right, and the ways that you can connect, the Entrepreneur Summit was going to happen. We were talking about that, right, early 2020, right, pre-COVID. You and I, we're spitballing that. And the thing is that you got more people virtually than you probably ever would have gotten in the physical sense. Am I right?
Yeah.
And the thing is that you reached more people. I mean, I was in a different space than I would have been on that day, right? Enjoying the Entrepreneur Summit, being able to connect with individuals at my leisure too, right? So it creates a more open and welcome space. So I think, the task for us, as these young millennials in the tech space and, all of these individuals that are now in this digital space is that we have to create these different touch points and ways to connect and be genuine about that connection inside of those spaces. Because there's a lot of different ways and opportunities in that virtual programming and environment that you can network inside of a Zoom room without having to move from your desk, So tell me some of your thoughts on that. Like, how have you networked in these digital spaces as you've had to navigate them?
Look, bro, last year, I completed an entrepreneurial training program with Operation Hope, which is ran by John Hope Bryant. He inserts financial education centers inside of banks. You know what I mean? His big thing, he loves MLK, and I love it because he doesn't just walk the walk. I mean, he doesn't just talk the talk, he walks the walk. So Memphis, where, Dr. King was killed for civil rights, as he explains it in the Poor Man's Campaign, he set up an institution inside of that bank. You know what I mean? The entrepreneurial program that I went through was through a church, predominantly African-American church. And it was free, it was awesome. I then was able, because I completed the program, was then able to go to the conference where Andrew Young's talking to T.I., talking to Ryan Wilson of the Gathering Spot, and Ed Bashan, the CEO of Delta, Delta Airlines. So seeing Tony Ressler, a millionaire real estate guy. So fast forward to this year, obviously due to COVID, those things can't happen physically. They had it virtually. So I was in the breakout room with Roland Martin, was able to kick him like, hey, he was just talking to folks, you know what I mean? It started off Zoom call, you know what I'm saying? A Zoom call. And started off 20 people. By the time we about to jump off, it's 78, you know what I mean? And I was able to ask my question in front of 78 people, connect with those people, you know what I mean? And people, something as simple as I just asked them, hey, how can I help you? You're in media, you want to connect with people, how can I make that happen? And he gave me his email, and just the community of the participants that was on the Zoom call dropping his email for me, you know what I mean? Like, yo, Roland S. Martin, you know what I mean? So it was, that's been a huge thing, it's just being able to connect with people virtually. It's a big thing, man.
Most definitely. It takes a lot of the I think the angst out of it too. So I would be nervous to pull up on Roland Martin and say, hey, bro, hey, I got this. We're doing great things in Cincinnati. We're doing great things in Dayton, Ohio. We're doing great things in the state of Ohio. Like, I will be afraid. I joke about how I met Michael Eric Dyson at downtown Cincinnati's First Watch bathroom. Had to go to the bathroom, went to the bathroom, walked in there, my jaw dropped. Michael Eric Dyson was there. He saw I was in amazement. He said, hey, you a fan? You want to take a picture? So we took a selfie, and it's like, you get nervous in those moments. There's been plenty of times where I've been on Zoom calls with high-level individuals, and I've not had a problem shoot my shot in the DM, right? Sliding in there and say, hey, I'm Jourdan Ivory, super excited to be here today. You said some amazing things. These are the points that I took away. I thought this was awesome. And it's crazy how people quickly connect. They're just like, oh, yeah, okay, brother, I see you doing this. And, and the thing is, too, is that technology is at your fingertips. So you're able to then search someone. You're able to then see someone's LinkedIn page. So having that digital marketing presence properly is a big thing too, and creating that constant content, I think, is a big piece of it as well. So you guys do a phenomenal job of that in the multiple entities that you work in, man. And so I want to give you props on that. Shout out to Ebony Ray, who's also in the building, and Licia Hill. Appreciate you guys stopping by this morning. You guys are tuned into the influencers this morning with Jourdan Ivory as your influencer. And we got another influencer in the building today, you guys, Sean Freeman. This is all powered by the Cincinnati Herald. And if you guys have not checked out the CincinnatiHerald.com, I need you to right now, okay? I want you to go check it out right now. Put us in a window, and then I want you to go check out the Cincinnati Herald in another window, okay? And then I want you to make sure that if you just popped on here from a multitude of ways of it being shared or any type of way of that, I want you to make sure that you hit our like button on our Facebook page, okay? So make sure you guys do that. That way you stay in tune with all the things that we have going on. Tonight, we have a show with Morgan Owens, who's a fellow influencer, at 6 p.m. It's going to be an awesome show. Let's jump back into it, Sean. I want to talk about a couple more things, and then we want to wrap, man. Talk to me about ways that young entrepreneurs and millennials that are looking to re-engage, okay? Re-engage in spaces, and not just communities that they've grown up in, but spaces that maybe they've touched, right? I've got friends that went to Mizzou. I've got friends that went to UCLA. How can we come back? And I know that you've worked with campaigns like God is Dope. How have you seen community engagement on the road? How do you re-engage in these spaces? What kind of advice would you give to individuals looking to re-engage?
Google. The same way, you hey, put that browser aside, don't make it too deep, just Google, and the information will be there. When I joined the chamber, I just Google Trotwood Chamber. And I learned like, oh wow, went to contact info, made a phone call, and she was able to kick me the game right there, And talking to people, man, phone calls, as I'm sure you know in the space that you're in, phone calls that's the work. You know what I mean? That's the work. Talking to people, just that's the work. So just gotta, loosen up and research and reach out. Research and reach out.
Research and reach out. I like that. That's got a nice ring to it. I like that. And that's very true. Everything's at our fingertips these days.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate to say it, but it's like, a lot of things, almost anything is on the internet,
Yep.
And so you're able to at least search it and at least source maybe where you're thinking and what you're coming from. Being a creative, I think that you can still create something new. I don't think it's all been created under the sun, so let's find ways to, to make it fancy and new, and I think that as a whole, I think we do a great job of that, and pushing the bar. As we introduce individuals into this new digital space, we're truly forcing them to engage in different ways. And I'm excited to see how things come about as we come out of all of this pandemic, and as we come out of post-COVID. Now, I don't know when that'll be, okay, right? We don't know when that'll be, but I think that there's a lot of growth that's happened internally for a lot of spaces and businesses, but also for individuals. And the ability to actually, showcase and broadcast that growth, right, in the space of like digital programming along with physical programming, and the ability to maybe hit it from different angles. So give me your top 2 tips, man. Give me your top 2 tips that you want to leave the people with today. Sharon Shelton, I see you in the building. I appreciate you stopping by this morning. We're about to hear Sean Freeman's top 2 tips, okay, for everyone tuning in today. I just want to hear what he has to say. I'm not going to put him in a box and say entrepreneurs, millennials, small business owners. I want you to give me your top 2 tips.
Top 2, man, man, that's a big one. I would say reading. That may sound far-fetched, but making sure that you read. Pick up a book. Because that's gonna take you there. You know what I mean? That's gonna take you. I'm piggybacking off of that internal statement and that internal growth, because that's huge for businesses. You know what I mean? But I love self-help books myself, so that would be one. And then 2, be a part of something. I know we all have tons of things, personally to do, let alone something maybe as voluntary, I guess you would say, as a lot of things that we're a part of. But joining those things helps your family, bring them along. I often try and, encourage my family to join the city council meetings, you know what I'm saying? Being a part of wherever you're at, you know what I mean? Think globally, act locally. So just making that happen, making change happen in the community that you're a part of. And along with that, vote. If you're voting, my biggest thing, this is probably number 1, should have been number 1. If you're voting, or when you're voting, if you haven't already, research the judges. This year we have 3 Ohio State Supreme Court seats up. And thing about the judges, they don't list the party. So whichever way you float, that's up to you. But, if you are just you go on one party or another, it's tough to see that, so make sure that you research your state representatives that are representing your community. These are people that we'll be leaning on for the next, I'm not even sure what the term is, maybe 2 to 4 years, so it's important that we know those people and not just the heavy hitter presidential candidates. So
Most definitely.
Yes,
Sean, it's absolutely amazing being with you this morning, man. How can the people get in contact with Sean Freeman?
Man, you can message me or shoot me an email at Sean Free, SEAN free, FREE7 @gmail.com.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Thank you so much for being here, taking your time this morning. Joe Morton, I see you in the building. I appreciate you being here. Sharon Shelton, Alicia Hill, and Ebony, really appreciate you guys being here this morning with us, and everyone else who stopped by. If you're checking this out on the recap, make sure you tune in this evening, 6:00 p.m. for Morgan Owens' show right here on the Influencers, right here on the Cincinnati Herald Live. Listen, you just met Sean Freeman of the Trotwood Chamber of Commerce. We talked about what he's got going on and the things that are happening in the community, but also we talked about ways that we can engage across the city lines, okay? Being a region instead of just an individual space, but also to try to create different ways that information can be broadcasted as they have different things that's happening in their space. And we have different things happening in ours. We should share this information and make us progress a lot faster, a lot faster. Sean, this has been an awesome morning with you, man. I appreciate you being here. Listen, you guys have just tuned into the Influencers right here, powered by the Cincinnati Herald on the Cincinnati Herald's Facebook page, right here on Facebook Live. If you have not hit that like button on our Facebook page, I need you to do so now. Please make sure you get a subscription to the Cincinnati Herald. It is super affordable. It is super awesome. The content comes to you every week. You will truly not be disappointed. This is Jourdan Ivory signing off. I'll see you at 6:00 p.m. this evening. See you guys soon.